So the engine's in the hole. We have a fuel tank, and down the bottom there, left corner, we have an oil or a remote oil tank, because these are a dry sump, so there's no oil held in the engine. It's only what's being used and doing lubrication, and it runs through that. So copper pipes are back in place, but I'm getting some hoses made up to fit on there. There's a new bit of cooling pipe which goes down the side of the engine here. This is on oak now. I've just got to get some new bits of steel cut. They'll be done tomorrow for the rear melts. Battery panels back in place. I am just battling. What am I battling? I was doing something a minute ago, and it's just getting. Yeah, the prop trial's going to come out, as I said, but that's another day, another time. I'm worried about it right now. Tomorrow, hopefully, an alternator will arrive, and I can then move the bracket, which is down the bottom here. It's in the wrong place completely. I don't quite know what the story with that it was, or maybe it's in the right place. Anyway, it'll turn up tomorrow, and I can let it up and have a look at it and run some cables for the charge circuit and the starter motors at the back there. So a little bit of electrical work tomorrow. Finish the mounting of the engine. The alignment looks like it's pretty much there, but for some reason there's an inch gap between the engine and the propeller shaft. Now I can't for the life of me work out what on earth's going on, because the original bolt holes are being used. The original bolts being used in the original holes, and it won't move anywhere. There's like a, you know, a quarter of an inch wiggle room sideways with the engine, which is enough to kind of just jiggle the alignment sideways. But as the prop trial's got to come out anyway, that's not the end of the world. I'll have to finish the alignment with that. I put the gearbox controller back on. I've got to put the cooling pipes in, but once the engine last bit of bracketry is in place, I can put the water cooling pipes back in place. I'm going to change that because someone used garden hose, which is just ridiculous. It crimps. That's your bypass for the raw water cooling. So I'm making headway. Like everything, it takes a little while to get started, but we are making headway. But the engine's not coming back out the hole anymore. I've decided that. It is in, as far as I can tell. Hopefully that's the case. But as I say, I need to put the electrics in place. There wasn't a start mode before, so I'm going to have to come up with a start button or something like that. But there's enough to keep me busy tomorrow. But I've got get the oil lubrication hoses fitted, but we're organising those. That's not a problem. Lots of little niggly things. But I gave the tank a good clean earlier, the fuel tank here. It was absolutely grotty, absolutely filthy. I mean, you've probably seen the footage. And it's original paint on it, and I dare take it off. So hopefully that keeps it looking as original as possible. I'm trying to impact this as least as is possible. But this boat is built on Whitworth, is still being used. If you don't know what Whitworth is, you can Google it. Nobody uses Whitworth anymore. Not really. It's the earliest, it's the first ever thread system I'm aware of. I think the British invented it for firearms. Mr. Whitworth himself. So imperial threads are one thing, but then we use metric now. So this engine, as far as I can tell, is using Whitworth. Don't quote me on that. I've not actually checked the thread system on this, but it's all very old stuff. And like, for example, the battery tray and the back here, the bolts that come through that are coach bolts, but they're Whitworth. They're really coarse threads on them. take this nut off and put some washers in, because that belt's touching the flywheel, so I need to bring that out, that pulley out a little bit, so can't tighten that just yet. So the alternator is now finally on. Well, it's been a bit of a mission, that, to be honest with you. It's not a good place in my opinion, but it's in keeping with what was here. It is unfortunately at the lowest point. Start fabricating brackets and stuff isn't really what I'm here to do, although you could argue it could be. But it's mounted. I've mounted it far more sternly than before. It's got far better cabling because we do have the starter motor on it. So this is a 90 amp multi-fit. They're good little bits of kit, these. I've also just spaced the, you can make out the belt. There's now a bit of an air gap. So as that spins, it won't rub the belt. I haven't tensioned it yet, but as I tension it, we'll see how that fares. So let's get some tension on that. Probably have a socket for this, but going up and down the deck to get stuff out the van is becoming an exercise routine. There we go. There's not a lot of load on this anyway. It's literally a starter battery, probably a light and some domestic consumption devices, possibly electric bilge pump. I mean, the engine itself has a built-in option for a bilge pump, is my understanding. So, it's not a bowstring, but you can probably just make out the gap between the belt and the flywheel. So that's good. I've got to tighten up this side as well. So I'll take shape I'm doing. So basically just down around this side here, you've got this rod that someone's made, so it's an angle, an opposing angle the other side with a nut on the back. As you tighten this back up, because it's just come loose at the back, that just tightens the bolt and straightens this, because that was giving up a little bit. All Whitworth. It's so difficult to get Whitworth bits these days. If you don't know what Whitworth is, Google it. So a lot of this is Imperial, because I'm trying to sort of respect the age of the boat and what's going on, you know. So we do the best we can with what we've got available. I made this new tensioner because the old one was too short for this particular fitment, and it's got plenty of room for tensioning it as well. That's that done. So that's the alternator mounted. You don't need to get too much tension now. Nice big pulley, so that will definitely drive the alternator well. I've got to tighten up the nut for the positive cable at the back here. I'm done, and just put another clamp on here just to keep the cable from rubbing or shaking, or I'll have to drill a hole through the see or not. Sideways, put a little clamp in there. I have used modern clamps for that because the cable was modern. But yeah, it's going well. The engine is back in the hole. It's on oak, as I said before. I'm going to tighten up the exhaust in a moment and put some hoses for the coolant. I think that'll be my next little job. I have got a bit of a drama with the oil tank feeds. I have got some bits in, but they're not quite long enough. It's one of those, you measure it and hope it all works, but I have to go back to the drawing board on that a little bit. But considering the prop shaft's not turning, I allocated a week for this job and I was hoping it would go in without any problems, but hey, things crop up and you have to think on your feet, which is what I enjoy. I'm so hot I can't think straight. It has been a wonderful week to do this job. There's been no rain, it's been dry, which is lovely, which means I don't get damped down, things aren't getting damaged, and I can just get on with what I'm doing outside as well. It's been good fun, but it has been, yeah, it's just been wet. So it hasn't been wet, which is good. I've done it here before in the yard where it's been wet, and it's just not fun at all. Going well. It's nice to be in a clean engine bay. Just looking at the huge size of this flywheel. It's hard to give you an idea, really. I mean, there's my hand next to it. As you can see, it's huge. In that there's probably the average size of a flywheel these days on an engine. It's a bit thicker, obviously. That's just a thin aluminium. It's got no mass to it at all. But anyway, I'm waffling. I'm good at that. I'm going to take everything out of the boat now and go and have a little think about what the next bit to do. I've still got another day allocated, but I'm just going to whip around and just bolt the exhaust up. The curator should in theory be here today, and then we'll have a chat about whether he wants me to change the exhaust or not. So Matt, you might just leave that for now and have a chat to him about it. But I'll put some coolant hoses in quick. That's one little job off the list. It's little bits and bobs that are done then, and we're making good headway. Yeah, it's Thursday, sunny. Catch you in a bit. I cannot believe that came off as easy as it did. It wasn't easy, it's hot and sweaty, but that was not a challenge. It was just getting it done. We'll call that a victory. And I'll show you this, that someone's space has been, well, you can see, it's a bit of a mess. Does the job, doesn't matter, it's original. I'll go back on. Now I can get towards the propeller and go inside in a minute, start getting all these stern glands undone, all the stern gear undone. Need some water, it's very hot. So, somehow I got it all apart. There's your propeller. No idea what state it's in, looks okay, but appearances can be deceiving. This is the intermediate shaft, so this was inside after the primary shaft, and there's a bearing on the end, which is this. And that's absolutely worn out, that wasn't doing anything anymore. Lovely old bearing though, split half, sintered bronze maybe, not sure. One of the coupling that meets the gearbox. Sorry, beg your pardon, no, that coupling meets the intermediate shaft off the main shaft, which is stuck in the bearing. So there you go, oh there's your gland, and then that's your boss at the end of the craft, which holds it in place. That's a week done, it's Friday, and I'm ahead of myself. Quite chuffed about that actually.